The moment of fear when you're always waiting for something to go. Hey, here we go. It's saying excellent. We're about 7 minutes past the hour. So it'll be interesting to see who's the first on for starters. But then what happens next? Because remember, there should be about 20 people that have all been promoted. We'll see them tonight. Here we go. It's Diamond Bravo. He's first on. Lauren is shining, cheating. She was already here. Oscar Manning. G'day, buddy. Emma C. Albino Nick. Lovely tan there, sir. Hamudia, the king. Bit of an oxymoron there. Islamic gentleman, with Ham as the name. Mr. Bryce, our moderator in blue. And also, Mr. Bryce is the first of the full session commanders that has come on. Well done for your promotion, mate. And JC straight below in the thin blue line. We've got Victor Goosens. And we've got an overflowing stage 3 pit with water. But he's got on past that. They suck. I think he's talking about tanks, which is what we're going to be speaking about tonight. Are they going to be completely cut? Did you know Lauren's here now?
I'm here.
Drew is too. Humi, what's going on? 2 biceps there. Ryan Oplis with his section commander stripes, Bailey's hat, wherever he places it, it's home. I'm going to grab it off your head and throw it in Elton John's bed. Brody G, Agent Collins FBI, good to have you here, Men in Black. Robbie Wool, getting the Kiwis all excited there with his section commander stripes as well. Luke Hutchins, not long to get promoted, mate. And then we've got the Spartan mouth. Nothing's much nice is going to come out of such a stoic mouth as a Spartan mouth. You'll get jobs done. We've got the lovely Megan. G'day, everyone. G'day, Megan. Lauren, please have a thumbs up below the screen. We've got a test coming up for you in a couple of seconds that you should really enjoy and have a laugh. So get your yawning out of the way because it may have something to do with it, eh, Lauren?
Yeah.
Every time
I wasn't paying attention. Sorry, I was gonna chat.
I piss myself laughing every time I see this. Jeez, it makes me laugh. We've got Ruben here. Ruben F. Scarf, if you remember the ads. Timmy Doust. Not a joust, because that'd take a horse and lances. We've got Iron Wolf's dad, who's always here lately. You've become a regular, mate. And great to see you there. Garlic bread, yes, please. Here's a bit of news for you. Did you know on the stream nights I normally don't have dinner? I've got to have it in the afternoon because it takes a little while to put these together, more than you think. And the anxiety of the time looming between my daughter being dropped off and getting here. I only eat a humble pie. Still haven't passed my use session. This phone thing is a hassle. It is, and we've got a lot of people ringing up saying they cannot handle the swings that are currently happening. It really sucks. Hi, Kaz, I was texting my girl, but I said I got to go. Kaz is live. Roll on. Thank you very much, mate. Mr. P. He's here. Yeah. He's had the drugs that killed River Phoenix already. He's ready for bed. Dave D. Poor bastard, locked up in 4-star hotel. That's Raph doing the slums. I hope the garlic bread doesn't burn your lips, sir. G'day, everyone, he says, with a hand of colour. Simon Powell. Good evening all day. He's got the stripes. It's unusual for a Raffy to earn his stripes. Well done, mate. Kramer YT. Hi, Dad. G'day, buddy. Okay, team, let's get going. Let's put it on. Let's get the good mornings, good afternoons, and welcome to the global community. This is it. Kaz from In the Trenches with Kaz and Lauren here through the mic of colour. And we just wanted to say hello, konnichiwa to those, and buenas noches to those that are here as well. Lauren, would you like to start off with the hellos today?
Yeah, sure. Hello, everybody. I hope you had a great start to your week. It's nice to see Bryce as a moderator, isn't it? It's also really nice to see everybody's stripes.
It is nice.
Pretty impressive. I'm loving watching everyone get their promotions, by the way. So,
I told you girls love rank.
I'm a bit confused about this yawning thing.
You're about to see it. You're about to go through it. JC, this would be a good one for you to put onto your buddies at work too. Don't pretend to be offended. Comments hurt, words hurt, mate. If there's anyone that has thick skin to be a police officer, You know.
Thing.
And by the way, wait 2 seconds. I haven't had a chance to see their names yet to be able to find this out. But tonight we are dedicating. Where are we? Candle of colour, green this time. Wait 2 seconds. A tragic ambush, double murder happened on 2 police officers, I believe, in New York by a man of colour. You know, and they've caught him, assassinated 2 police officers in their police car as an extension of what he thinks is the popular thing to do at the moment. That's a dickhead. That's a scumbag. And hopefully he goes down shooting, doesn't hurt anyone else, okay, but saves the taxpayers some money if you know the outcome I'm talking about. That candle is a bit short on the wick. So what I might do, I can't see that candle at all. Maybe it's a candle in the wind. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off this hat. In 3 seconds, I'm going to look like Ellen DeGeneres. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1. Bam.
Actually, your hair was looking really good in the video you posted yesterday. I have to let you know.
I've been told to get a haircut from people that are over the age of 50 that are insulted that I've got such a mane still at my age. And the only grey hair is between my teeth.
Oh, good heavens. What?
Well, I was kissing a dog today. It was a little cutie. Hey, Rhinopolis, let him. Police. Rank up there. So what I'd like to say today, can we start today, you know, I don't care if you're not a fan of police officers, but they should not be getting assassinated while they're serving the communities. To these 2 gentlemen that lost their lives, and I believe they were gentlemen, not no ladies involved in it, I'd just like to give our 10-second tribute tonight to those police officers that fell, as well as the people in Oregon and the fires that are happening in the USA. Remember, they were there for us at the start of the year when our fires were so bad, including the pilots that lost their lives in Australia. So if you join me for 10 seconds. Rest in peace, and thank you for your service. Guys and gals, beyond the politics, this is a human, not just disaster that's happening in Oregon, but also a tragic event that's happened to these police officers whose families went from pride to sorrow overnight after probably kissing them goodnight, taking that last hug for granted. So never take your family for granted because you don't know what tomorrow brings. Garth Brooks. Fat Rat Finn, that's a pretty cool name. It's if you've got a name that doesn't really sit with you too well and you want to change it to something funky these days, it'd be funny to see some of the names that come up. We've got a devil's worth of viewers here. That's 66. And the introduction tonight, team, before we pass over to Lauren and the Yawn Game, which is coming up in the next 2 minutes or so, I'd just like to say at the moment we're seeing the disbanding of modern technology, of main battle tanks through the Marines, the US Marines. Also, some of their infantry battalions are being disbanded, and the UK is disbanding their main battle tanks. The reason is due to their vulnerability, their high cost, etc. in this modern age, and probably the lack of possibility of using them in the future against a armor-defeating peer adversary. Having said that, the USA has also disbanded snipers in the past, not thinking they'd ever need them again. Special Forces units have been disbanded, then been brought back again. You've got to be very careful of getting rid of something, because then we also get a skill loss that sometimes cannot be replaced.
Yep, sometimes the knowledge loss too.
That's it. Having been from the 9-section era, we used to see the scouts, the scout movement, methods of patrolling, etc. Fantastic. A lot of that skill fade is gone. You need to go and get the old blokes to come back and teach it. Would, for free, tomorrow if you wanted. And I'd get COVID deliberately to get it out of my system to show them, I've already had it. Hey, Rad, there you go, mate. Can of Coke, man. Not too cow. Thank you very much. It's the best toothpaste in a fix, as we know. That's the first cow in a paddock. Great to have you here. Have we missed anyone? Diamond Bravo. Right. He's blind. I swear he's blind.
Daz,
Sebastian
I can
White.
explain that to you. Let me explain to you why JC's saying you're blind.
Okay.
Because he's been trying to tell you that the two police officers actually survived.
Okay. Fantastic. Fantastic. That's great news.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I hope they have a speedy recovery, and I still hope the same thing happens to the shooter. Yep. One of the things I don't understand is the rules of engagement that happen for military as opposed to police. If you light a Molotov cocktail against a soldier, then we will use all the force required that you become a ghost. Like that. If I see you starting a fire at a petrol station, you'll become a ghost. I don't know what's happening to these police officers where they have to stand back as this potential tragedies unfold in front of them. They should be allowed to defend themselves, and they should also be able to use proactive measures to make sure that things don't deteriorate even further so they can go home safely. Luke Hutchins, g'day mate, from the Gold Coast. Not so cow, you're right on the border between common sense and lack of common sense, meaning New South Wales and Queensland. Great to have you here. A surf up. Is it cool enough to surf yet? Warm enough to surf yet? I wear a wetsuit in summer.
Does.
Yeah.
I'm too quiet, they say.
Ah. They never say that about me. Hey, Lauren says Rhinopolis. Here they go. Will Macca. Hi, guys, and sure how late I am. Mate, we've only been going for a couple of minutes. We're just talking about the tanks. They're disbanding them across the Western world because they believe they're probably obsolete now, but they're also so vulnerable. And they're such a high-priced target. The Lion, they used to get taken out potentially by tows and anti-armor guided missile systems, etc. But now they have weapon systems where artillery might be coming to the fore, where artillery might even start to get replaced by precision. And instead of being an area weapon, it could be a precision weapon. And there's also weapon systems that can fire over 2,000 miles and defeat all armor. Which means if I can see you, I can get rid of you. And then it just comes down to, do I have a conscience about watching the cartoons on the screen disappearing? Maybe, maybe not. But in Australia, do we need them? Maybe. They are definitely an armor defeating technological and beast of the battlefield in Australia. And if you can fire something 2,000 miles, that's not enough. You need to be on Australian soil. Good luck getting on there and having that sort of stuff set up. We've got Tony the Ram. For a good cause and hope is the last thing we lose. Wait 2 seconds. Nutsu cow for Tony the Ram that has sent the battering ram, the orange cow, into the field. Thank you very much, mate. And if you don't mind me letting people know, Tony the Ram. We had a good conversation today on the bat phone, and basically what it came down to was, you haven't got your full name on there, so it's fine, mate. He's getting the dick around. He sent his application in. He's been told, get yourself ready. You're going to get to go. Put a hand of colour in there if you are getting non-stop grief on security packages. I know they can be difficult on the secret package, on information. I know there's supposed to be around 40,000 people trying to join at the moment, and there's no way of saying who is actually serious and who just wants a job and thinks this can be just a job, and you're going to be one of the 30% that fail Kapuka despite the fact you passed all of the measures to be there but don't have the ticket to pass. Which one are you? Yeah, I'm really sorry, Tony, and we're going to come up with a solution. We've just got to learn how to skin this cat. 4 times he sent all his information in. There is no number he can actually ring and say, have you got my crap? Yep, we're seeing some hands down there from Major Benson as well. Wilfred Payne, stand fast, sir. Diamond Bravo, I can't believe the Aussie Army got some F-35s. Well, that's some of the most important thing we need there is the ability to look after maybe their one last enemy on earth. Good-looking lady. Have you been to Bendigo Victorian Barracks? Not Bendigo, I've been to Watsonia. Yeah, they're pretty old barracks down there, aren't they? I actually locked myself out of the room at Watsonia, which was funny because I'm an infantry guy. They're all signals. So I actually did look like a dumb grunt, which I've been before. You know, had to go in there into the mess, the sergeant's mess, with just thongs and a bloody towel on, lucky dummy push-ups for the day. You had to go in there with nothing on where you need a collared shirt to go into. Yeah. Can I get some juice and a key to my room?
Everyone has their moments.
Mr. Bryce is saying, how can people fail Kapuka? It's hard, but not impossible. Yeah, it is attitude, but also there's sickness. We've got one of our really good subscribers at the moment who just got back squatted for sickness and has gone back 3 weeks. So that blows out your time scales, it blows out your ITs, etc. So good luck to that person, and we're in your corner.
Yep.
Hey, Ethan Hill, how you going, mate? Okay, let's Drunk Aussie, g'day, mate. This one's going to be for you, Drunk Aussie, this next one coming up. We're going to throw, instead of an introduction video saying what tonight's going to be about, we've spoken about the tanks. I hope we retain our tanks. We don't want to get rid of something that we have, something that we've paid for. Something that can be there in the future and we don't know its value until it's needed. Okay, just like a life preserver, when you get on a boat, you don't look cool until you fall overboard. And here we go. He is ready. Listo, as I'd say in Spanish. I want to know that you're looking at that screen, Lauren.
I'm looking at it.
Get ready. No yawning. No yawning. This is the competition. Put your thumb up when you yawn for the first time. Sorry.
I'm already fighting it.
I challenge you to watch this whole video without yawning. For many of you, seeing me yawn just now was enough to make you want to yawn too. But can you suppress it? Already you can feel a tightening in the back of your throat, a moistness in the eyes, a gentle pressure in the ears, a tenseness that you know can be relieved with one simple yawn.
I can feel it.
It's a biological impulse, the contagious yawn. Even seeing a picture of someone yawning with no sound or motion can be enough to induce a yawn. Or maybe you're one of those people who can read yawn or hear the word yawn, repeated yawn, and feel the need to yawn. But why is yawning contagious? Well, before we get into that, let me show you something. I'm sorry. It's like my throat was thirsty for air. I feel much better now. And that's exactly the point. A yawn calms you down. If you're a pack animal, contagious yawning puts the whole herd on a synchronized sleep schedule. Of course, others say the exact opposite, that a yawn gives you a momentary jolt of energy, and contagious yawning can keep the group alert when one individual starts to get a little drowsy.
Yep. Bravo's down.
Feels good to yawn though, doesn't it? So good. Oh, so good.
Lauren yawned.
Whatever the reason, yawning remains a powerful neurological impulse, even across species. One study found that a human yawning can make a dog do the same. Now you may be saying, I have no idea what you're talking about. I could watch people and dogs yawn all day long and not feel that weird breathless feeling in my chest or a vague buzzing in my ears. And if that's the case, you very likely have a neurological disorder that inhibits the development of empathy, like schizophrenia or autism. In fact, doctors use contagious yawning to diagnose these very conditions. Or maybe your doctor's just bored with you.
I've got this thing on my back.
But maybe you haven't yawned and you really want to. Maybe this whole ordeal has been agony for you, where you've wanted nothing more but to breathe deeply, stretch your jaw, and just yawn. And yes, it counts as a yawn if you do that weird thing where you try to yawn through one nostril. Or if you try to yawn without opening your mouth, so you look like a frog that's about to vomit. But if you've truly resisted, then congratulations. You made it to the end of the video without yawning.
That's a weird yawn.
You also put yourself in a lot of discomfort just because some stranger on the internet told you to, so I don't know who the real winner is here.
Okay, just something to give you a bit of a laugh as we start and we're going to look at a few things to do with technology now. We've got Cameron Barnes over there who's saying he lost a family member in a Centurion tank. I disagree with removing them as a fighting force. They are hard-hitting. They're the scariest thing on the battlefield. But if you see the latest videos of main battle tanks in Syria and other conflicts getting absolutely smoked with no chance to even fight back, you know, you can listen to all your data you want from Mr. Swar, swinging the turret with Swar, but you're not going to get a chance to fight back against something that goes to inner space and then comes down and smacks through your bloody lid. So, I don't know. It's a vulnerability thing. Is there room to take them through modern streets? Probably not. You know, who knows? But we'll know soon enough, or in the next 100 years. Lauren, JP's here.
I know.
We've got a couple of other things that we're going to show you here. This is a video, and I found out today that Apple is now worth $2 trillion.
Wow, that's a lot.
There's no off-pay week when you've got $2 trillion. E46, I didn't realise how underweight I was till I checked what I needed to pass a medical. Going to have to put joining the ADF off for a while till I bulk up, but we'll be ready one day. And remember, Victor, it's not food that you bulk up with. It's going to the gym. It is resistance training, etc. And that's putting muscle on the scaffolding. And if you don't have it, your pack will destroy you anyway. Yep. So it is important that you use techniques. The young fellas these days, and young ladies too, especially at the netball, the biggest and probably robust people, but they're ready to break. Their body is not set yet. It's still developing, so you need to be careful and test it gently. But they really have a soldier's frame these days. Can we even transport our Abrams abroad? We can, but we don't, because we're only allowed to when against a peer enemy, etc. When we do courses, they tend to fly over to the USA and do the courses over there. And I believe that Scotty Healy actually did that. Democracy. Isn't the ADF getting the M1A2s? Yeah, well, we're always behind the 8 ball usually, mate, but we get better versions. Within the coming year, the Americans just upgraded them. And I know the Defence Force was looking to purchase them. The Marines is getting rid of them. Not all of them, I don't think, but they're also getting rid of battalions as well, and they're also getting rid of some of their rotary wing as well, their helicopters. The boxes, they already bought the boxes from Germany as an upgrade from the ASLAVs. So speed, firepower, the labs we've had for a long, long time, over 20 years, they've done a pretty good job. You get seasick if you're sitting in the back, motion sick, feels the same when your food's coming out your nose.
Oh, God.
Oh, it's terrible, Lauren. What's the Australian Army population? Isn't it like 88,000? Mate, that is our Army, Air Force and Navy and Army Reserve.
Yeah. Would you like to read the questions for a little bit?
Yeah, you can. That'd be great.
Okay. JC's just picked up Band of Brothers and the Pacific. He's binge watching them. Ooh. And Mr. Patterson's popping in on The Masked Singer. Bye, Mr. Patterson. Have fun.
See you later, Mr. P. Go to sleep on the lounge there.
A good-looking lady would like to know your opinion on Army cadets.
Look, I've never really had an opinion on them. I've probably got two opinions on it. I think it's fantastic for people to go there and keep off the street, etc. But there's also an inherent evil with going there and having the people that go to cadets in some very volatile ages where you've got some very young people and some people very close to being adults mixed in the one area with limited supervision. I think that there is a potential for, what do you call it, for peer pressure.
Yes, and sometimes there's also, because it's dangerous wherever you send kids or whatever, but I think it is dangerous to put other kids with so much power over other kids. I think you'd have to have someone pretty cluey looking after the thing, otherwise you could end up with Lord of the Flies. And
the cadets out there that watch us could probably all tell us an example of exactly what we're talking about there.
Yep.
You know?
Yep. Someone who's a bit power hungry. And I think there's a common misconception that the Australian Army Cadets is just an extension of the Australian Army. And could you just clear that up for me?
Well, I see the cadets is probably the replacement of scouts. What it was with the effort, the military effort, was to get people in young. So it's like, when you get the Commonwealth Bank accounts that school kids get. Well, cadets is to try and lock you in early so that you get in, what would you call it? So that you learn skills, but it also puts you in a pipe towards a military career. I believe that's what it is, trying to get you in young.
Look, kids got to do something.
Yeah.
So they may as well be, if they've got the right personality type, then, why not?
Yeah, and alternatively, that is a lot better than being in the street. Yep.
Diamond Bravo would like to know what you think about the MREs.
Like anything, you get sick of them overseas. If you have one of them or have a couple over a weekend and you get different versions of them, just like ration packs, yeah, awesome. You can actually enjoy it. It's a little bit of a novelty. But when you're somewhere and you have them every single day, in inclement weather, with fatigue, they all taste like crap pretty damn quick.
Yep.
Yeah.
Here's something exciting. Jordan Sayers, hey Kaz, my enlistment day is tomorrow.
Wow. Jordan.
That's really exciting. Last meals.
Yeah. What are you going to have? The Dirty Bird seems to be the common choice. KFC. The Colonel. How ironic. You're going to salute the Colonel before you go in, eat his buns, and then go and join him the next day in uniform, hand up, oath or affirmation, Queen or God, which will it be?
Yep.
Heels together. Don't roll your eyes. Don't fold your arms. No hands in your pocket. No need for money. Your money's no good here. You're going to be at Kapuka. Dave reckons the one thing that is an oxymoron down there is if you're not going to have a hot meal, you want to just have cereal, you've got to get in the line with the hot meal to go all the way past it to get to the milk to go on the cereal. So maybe that needs some common sense to go, this ain't working. All I want is a bit of milk.
Okay, he needs some milk. Okay. Gabe Carrigan has asked me to ask you, what are the differences between RMC and ADFA?
Okay, RMC and ADFA. ADFA is purely a university for cadets that are going to go on to RMC. So RMC, you can go there for 18 months and do class 3, 2, then 1. But if you go to ADFA, you'll only go to RMC for a year after doing your degree at ADFA. My warning to people that want to go to ADFA is make sure that you go for a degree that is something that's actually going to enhance your military career. Otherwise, you're going there to do a degree, to smoke it and never do anything about it, as then you continue on into RMC and then continue your military career.
Yeah.
You have to be current in what you train in to what you study in. So if you do something and think you're going to come back to that in 4 or 5 years, you'll be so far out of the market that there might not even be a role for you.
Look, he's just told us what his last meal's going to be.
What is it?
A sausage sanger.
Not bad. At Bunnings. That's a cheap dinner right there.
Yep, unique though. Okay, you ready for another one?
Yeah.
Okay, Iron Wolfstad would like to know, do you reckon all school leavers should be forced to do reserves for 2 years?
Well, that's national service for 2 years. It's I don't think that could hurt. I don't think it'd hurt, but who's going to pay for it and what capability would it give other than just a better civilization?
Yeah, but would it even, it might even have a negative potential if it's the wrong people. Yep. So I don't think you'd have to be looked at.
Well, we got asked a series, and you know what? There's a big majority of people are morbidly obese and won't be able to do any tests. And it's also dangerous to take them in a field environment or take them onto a course that they're too unfit to be able to actually go onto. You could actually hurt them. And then who's going to pick up the bill?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Okay.
We also got another question yesterday that came through, Lauren. And I felt for this guy, and he asked, why isn't there a special program for people that have actually done jail time or have convictions so that they don't go back. Then I'm like, well, when you've got their recruiting line is going out the door as far as you can see,
Exactly.
you can't give special treatment and actually put a gun in an ex-felon's hand and expect him to go, okay, I got the memo, I'll behave now.
Yeah, not when the job is to protect innocence. You know, that can't. You have to be able to be trusted with innocence without anyone looking. So we just can't take those risks. Also, it's so competitive at the moment. One day, if it ever comes that they can't recruit anybody, then maybe that's something to think about. I'm all for prison programs, though.
Yes, am I.
You know, so it's an interesting proposition, actually.
But putting a gun in their hand is probably not the green solution.
Exactly.
Guess who's here?
There's other things they could do. Who's here?
Ed B from USA.
Oh, hi, Ed B.
G'day, Ed. How yous going? For those that don't know, Ed is. Can we get some hands of colour in the chat there? Ed is in the USA. If he's on here now, that means he can't sleep. Okay. Like me, Ed has got his demons from overseas. He's lost a lot of friends as well. But he comes on here. He is a fantastic guy. He's basically a pillar of the channel. We just don't get to see him at the moment because of the time schedules, etc. And he's got a whole bunch of side hustles with his CB radios.
Yeah, it's always special. Are you ready for another question?
Yeah.
Okay, Aussie has asked, can you tell us what you know about 1RAR? I'm under the assumption that it's the only airborne regiment in infantry.
1RA's never had an airborne capability, mate. There is no airborne in Australian infantry. It used to be 3RA, Old Faithful. They were with the Maroon Beret. They were our jump boys. Okay, and basically what happened is they lost that role, and that went to 2 Commando, Advanced Infantry, Special Forces, okay, and SASR. So the chutes that the 3RA used to have as the airborne battalion, they were the fast descent chutes. It's not romantic. You don't want to do it. You know, you hit the ground like the sound of someone getting hit by a car. The injuries were catastrophic to a lot of soldiers whose careers sometimes got cut short. You know, there's a big difference between high altitude chutes where they glide down, okay, sipping their coffee, hit the ground and do their job, with the 3rd Battalion, you know, hitting the ground. They used to call them lawn darts, you know. But they were very proud, very tough. Yeah. But there is no battalion, and it's not coming back.
Yeah. Okay. Josh Gayton says, hey, Kaz, I'm enlisting on the 21st. Any tips before heading to Kapuka?
I would say just watch the videos. You know, I keep putting them out there. The streams are where we learn about people like Ed B, Brycey, right? The veterans here, JC, you know, Mr. P. You know, he lost one of his buddies over in Vietnam. He was sent me through a battle I'd never even heard of that happened, where 5 soldiers lost their lives over in Vietnam.
Wow.
Honestly, it's all you got to do is be part of this channel, and you're good to go. We've got all the videos that tell you. Just go back through the catalogue, mate, and when in doubt, if you really get desperate and you just cannot get your fix, go onto our Patreon. The link is below, and you get one-on-one exclusive phone contact straight through to me. All right?
And Adam Whale is going on the 21st too, so that's pretty close. That's exciting.
That's fantastic. And Adam Whale, I don't think I've got you on the list, mate. I haven't got you on the list here either for those that disembark on the 21st. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, tick that bell so you see what's coming out next. And feel free on a Sunday when you pretend to be religious to give me a call and say, Kaz, what's the strategy for this? What do you reckon we do? And if you want to sit on the bed with your buddies, not on your buddies, because that'd make you Navy, then then I will talk you through and do a little live stream via just the phone for you, okay?
Okay, here's a good question. Sebastian White asks, if we do get rid of the tanks, what will happen to the soldiers of the armoured corps?
Well, simply what would happen is they would migrate straight back over to the Boxer, okay, to the labs that remain, to the APC equivalents. They'll just get absorbed back into their corps. Remember, there's certain branches within their corps, and tank is just one of them, and probably one of the smaller ones, right? They'll look after them. They don't kick them out.
Okay, here's one. Nick Smith asks, hey Kaz, where would you say it is better to live, on or off base as a single bloke in infantry? Is there much difference?
The only difference is, it's really good living on barracks, because if your buddies are on barracks too, your bills are almost non-existent. You can go down to the Olympic pool. You've got the gym for free there. It's all good to go. You get left alone. If you've got a Karen out there who's trying to track you down, she can't get on the base to haunt you. You just escape, have your fun, and come back again, so to speak. But what can happen is you just get sick of it, and you decide, I want to move out. I want to go into a house. I want my bills to be bigger. I want to maintain a lawn. I just want to be around Castle Hill where I can go for a walk and then run up it and just feel like I have a little bit more life balance rather than living in a barracks environment. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, are you ready to move on?
Yeah.
Okay. Tiddlywinks says, hey Kaz, what are your thoughts on 7 RAR?
5 and 7 are the bookends of the regiment, meaning Darwin and Adelaide. Look, I don't really have an opinion on them. I just don't recommend them. And it's not for the soldiers that are there. It's just that Adelaide, I reckon, is a little bit of a shithole, Not that I've been there many times, but the training areas they go to can be very cold. Everything is a logistical nightmare to get to. Darwin, it's just too goddamn hot. And for many months of the year, you can't actually operate there. The cost of living there will surprise you, is massive, and also, if you've got your father's looks, there's not enough ladies there to really go around, and you're competing against Americans as well as soldiers in that 100% humidity 100% of the time. If you want to go there, you're not even allowed to go and get a crock and make a wallet out of it. Hey, Rad, what's your cow?
Rad
What's
again.
he got? Got to get off. Time for pizza night.
Yum.
I can't compete with that.
Okay, are you ready for another question?
Yeah.
Iron Wolf's dad has said, Kaz, is the ADF building bases in India?
No.
Right, there you go then. That was easy.
Look, I can't. Can I just say something quickly?
Yeah, of course.
A lot of people aren't gonna like this. Okay.
Just give it to him anyway.
I cannot see, and I should make a video of this. I cannot see a time in the future, and I've war gamed this in my mind, where the Australian Army will go back overseas again. So if you're joining thinking the next 10 years is going to look like the last 10 years where survivability was way up there, where force preservation was the most important thing rather than the actual destruction of the threat force, etc. Big cash trips, great tattoos, the big adventure. You just do the math and look at it from the point of view, you can't even go to Queensland at the moment. Do you really think that we're going to find any reason to go to another country that has worse medical than us during the crisis we're going through now? What issue could possibly mobilise Australians to go back overseas when our brothers, the USA, are bringing everyone back home? We're not going to buck the trend and say we're going to go somewhere independently to right the wrong of what? Tell me if you think of a reason we could go over somewhere, toot sweet, let me know. But I'm just thinking about it, and I'm just like, I cannot see a reason we'd ever go back to the Middle East. I cannot see a reason why we'd ever go back to Africa. Anywhere we go is likely to be a policing force. And we're not going to go there until the entire world, has got itself back into a point where we have got beyond the situation medically that's happening right now. So I might be goddamn wrong, but please don't think the next 10 years is going to look like the last 10.
Yeah, exactly. Things are going to change. There's a couple of questions here that could both be answered. A couple of people going through the application process and want to impress people. I suggest they check out the video that you and Dicko made recently.
Okay.
Which will really help them, don't you think? I think that's... do you remember the name of that video?
Oh, I'm not sure, but if Dicko's there, wouldn't he be... that was the 10 questions.
The 10 questions video. You should really check the back catalogue. You'll find some really good information there.
Mm.
Okay, someone asked, Diamond Bravo asked, do you know Morse code?
Yeah, I do actually. You know, I was qualified Morse code before as an Army reservist nearly 30 years ago. Do I remember it now? A little bit. I know how to do it well. You know, it's the diddy-dars. That's how we pronounce it, not dots and dashes, diddy-dars. It's weird. You've got to have a like a Ricky Martin wrist when you put the actual the Morse code key on your leg of the desk. You have your hand in a position where it sort of hangs like this, and to do a dar, all it is dit dit dit. You know, you tap on the key, but to get the dar, instead of holding it down longer, you just drop your wrist, dit 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 da dit. Yeah. So you just drop the wrist, and that gives you the length of depression that you need to cause the dash.
Same as tattooing, it's all in the wrist. Okay.
So is my love life.
Okay, yeah, we can just move right along. Democracy has said if the tanks were to be gotten rid of, wouldn't you get rid of the ACPs as well?
APCs?
I think that might be what he meant. I feel mechanised troops would be best supported with main battle tanks.
I think what's happening is, if you can read between the lines, okay, guys, I think there is only one potential threat left on Earth. There's only one, and you know who it is.
And we're not going to say it.
And we can't say it because we'll get quarantined straight away. I think that's it. There's only one country that's sort of bucking the system at the moment. Yep. That's it. So I believe they're going, well, how much does it cost us to prepare for something? And if that occurred, would we be using that? No, we wouldn't.
Yep.
So technology is going to step in. With that, let's throw another video on just to give you a bit of an understanding. Just to show you, when you've got corporations like Apple that are worth $2 trillion, when you've got Elon Musk beating governments in the private industry to send things in a space, out of space, you know, and then you've got people like Boston Dynamics. Put a hand up if in comments if you've seen Boston Dynamics and what they do with radio, with technology, with robots, etc.
I never have.
Okay, then you're going to like this. This is a skit. There's acting in this. Okay, but it's not far off the truth from what they can do and do soon. Okay, we ready for this one?
I'm ready.
You're going to like this. Poor robot. You actually feel sorry for it in this. What's it done to anyone?
You know, it was such a challenge, the walking.
He's not up here, but it gets better and better. There you go. That's not bullying, what is? I wonder what gender it is. Something and I've seen that. I know what the backstory of this video is. We're not too far off this sort of stuff.
Scary how human it looks in its movement.
Well, that's because of
Oh, that is an actor. I forgot for a minute, was it? Oh, I thought it was real, Kaz.
They have got these robots that sometimes this is what you feel like in the military. This is the bosses, this is the medical, this is the pay system, this is the beginning of Skynet Robocop. Made him angry. This is when I realised it was definitely bullshit.
I wouldn't have told you.
It even scares me from a safety point of view that people with these sort of weapons mucking around.
JP said it was effing range control.
Yeah. We're nearly done, team. If you haven't seen us before, 6-3 Yankee JP. Just another day on the range. Yep. Do you remember those sandwiches? They used to already come with salmonella. You can't shoot. You can't shoot the dog. Oh, it's like Spice. I'd put him on the front gate. Let him do the guard. They want him to shoot the dog. All right, there he goes. What we'll do is we'll quickly throw on the last one. How are we going? Can you see that coming through all right now?
I can see it okay. It was buffering a little before.
Okay. See what happens when you talk about certain subjects, team? The range singers, Dave D, they're the worst, mate. The bread feels like Kentucky bread rolls that haven't been warmed up. We've got Captain Cannon there. Hi, this is my first time watching your stream. Captain,
Welcome.
Great to have you here, mate. Make sure you subscribe and tick the bell. We're here to answer your questions. We're here to make you feel welcome. We're an Australian channel. I'm not sure if you are. This is a forever channel.
Yep, forever. I've got a question for you.
Are you watching your screen at the moment?
Yeah, why? What's happening?
It's trying to buffer.
No, mine's good. Maybe I'm lagging. Hang on. Let me see. No, it's working.
Okay.
Ask the folks. Is it working?
Give us a thumbs down if yours is starting to choke up a little bit after the conversation we just had. For those that don't know, depending on what subject we have, it tends to go a little bit haywire, so to speak. So what were we going to say?
Oh, I had a question for you.
No, Iron Wolf. What's the point to start war? It's not. It's to replace soldiers.
Yeah, exactly.
Take the feeling out of what's happening. Save money, so to speak.
Yeah, could go horribly wrong. We could end up living in a dystopian future very quickly, though.
Yep. You've got to still have the compassion that is still there on the battlefield, that does the nice things for the nice people, the non-combatants sit between the cracks. You know, that's what we're there for. I think we're about to have a hard time. It's lagging.
We've got some thumbs up and some thumbs down.
If I talk about butterflies and unicorns and how I wish I lived in San Francisco,
Mr. Patterson, great question. He wanted to know who you think the frilled neck singer, the frilled neck lizard singer is.
I've got no idea.
That's not controversial. Let's stick to some.
I think the stream's going down.
All right. What's the plan?
No, it might be okay.
Okay. Bretsy Carr.
Hey, Sophie.
Says, hi, Lauren. Tell Kaz to check out Gravity Personal Rocket System videos. This is where we are heading.
You mean like this? That's a quick response. That's going to spin him out. It's going to look like, holy shit.
Wow.
This guy is amazing.
What the heck? He's like Tony Stark.
Yeah, he just, the whole reason why he's not higher is because he said that if you fall from this height, you know, from 2 or 3 metres, you're going to be okay. But if you fall from higher, you may actually end the journey before you wanted to. So, fantastic guy. And watching the interviews with him is amazing. He's done more than 90 exhibitions in the last 2 years for corporations and companies.
That's incredible. Look at him go.
Yeah. I'd put a piece of toast One of each one of those. Imagine if you're flying and you start to get that itchy nose. This is really starting to go downhill. I think the viewers have just dropped by 30, which means that the quality is probably still buffering. They're saying here Lauren's audio was choppy, Kaz's video is clear. When is the chat of a man playing Escape from Tarkov? Well, I've watched Tarkov for a while now. Ryan, when he plays Tarkov, it just seems like an okay play. It's so goddamn boring to watch. You'd have to put red.
They want you to turn the video down a little, please.
Okay. There we go.
They want to hear you talking.
Yeah. Adios, everyone. Diamond Bravo. See you later, mate. Thank you for dropping in and seeing us. And what else we got?
Okay. Here's a question. Unknown Fox 1994 said, I was talking to a current serviceman. He said that the current time Army isn't currently doing BFAs and fitness classes due to the Mexican beer. How do you think this will affect most service members?
Well, adversely, for starters. This is one of the things I don't understand. For all of those that are going to go to Kapuka, etc., I do not understand the fact that if you're in Townsville, you go home, you go to work. You go home, you go to work. You're an essential service. As a soldier, you're an essential service. I don't understand why, just by changing states, you need to have a 2-week quarantine in a 4-star hotel, getting bush pay, and not getting taxed, while everyone else just goes back to work each day.
Yep. Here's the question.
Yeah.
Are you finished with that one? Sorry if I ever cut
that's
you
right.
off. Okay, Brody G has asked, hey Kaz, can enlisted soldiers become officers? And if so, is it common? It's
not common, because normally you join the military, and hey, I see Cookie Monsters up there too. Usually when you join the military, you join for the sort of personality you are, whether you have aspirations of leadership or you want to be a soldier and be a supporter of and a team member. It's like, does everyone want to be a captain of the rugby league team? No. Almost no one wants to be the captain. It comes with the burden of command. So if you wanted to go and become an officer, what can happen is if you are below the rank of sergeant, what would occur is you'd say to the platoon commander when you do your monthly report, regardless of corps, that I have aspirations of being a leader, an officer. I want to try for RMC, etc. Can I get a green light for that? And he'll decide yes or no based on what he knows of you already. And what can happen from there is they can send you for additional testing, and where you can go back and end up doing as a retread, go over to RMC and understand that, I don't know, there can be some prejudices in going over there, like the keys to the city sort of stuff, and but you can do that, but it takes still a lot of recommendations. Probably the hardest way to get into RMC. And if you get to sergeant above, what you can do is like an ASWOC, where you go from sergeant over to sergeant, warrant officer, etc., over to officers, and you'll be a first-year captain on the changeover. But again, that has to come with recommendations. It has to come with psychological screening. It has to come with a lot more testing as well to make sure that you are that person, when in actual fact you should have in spades leadership. And that's one of the things that's missing these days. The one trait that people goes, what do you need to be an officer? To me, it's leadership.
Yeah.
That encapsulates it all. Can you make tough decisions when no one else can? Are you able to think in a bind and make a decision despite the fact there's tactical dilemmas that have been placed on you in adverse conditions with a shortened time frame and still get a success or an element of a success? Do you have judgment? Good judgment. Critical judgment.
Yeah. Okay, ready for the next one?
Of course.
Iron Wolf's dad says, do you reckon soldiers should get exosuits like the one they use in car factories?
They're already building those.
That's kind of cool, though.
There's already building that, but I look at it and I go, what are you going to do? Take it off to sleep in it?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, I suppose.
Everything can look like it's convenient, but we have to carry everything that we have. And there's a certain amount of discomfort that allows you to do your job better. There's just no way around it. And if you're going to take equipment, like they tried to bring out the Reaper, which looked like a coat hanger, one of my mates, Bill Cosby, had on to support the weapon system up to take the pressure off, and it got laughed out of town. Because at the end of the day, when people that aren't military think something's a good idea, by the time it's been looked at and laughed at by soldiers, and then we rip it down and go, we would have done that already, and this is why, people go, oh. That's why you have to have people in the development teams that weren't officers, that were actual soldiers.
Yeah, fair enough. That makes sense. Okay, top 10 clips with just like a quick recap on why are tanks leaving, Kaz?
I believe it's because of long-range precision weapon systems that are able to take them out, and they're unable to defend themselves against these threats, basically.
Okay, Chief Cunning Coyote.
Good name.
Said, hey, Kaz, first time being on your live. Welcome.
Excellent.
And I love your content and info you give us. I'm trying to prepare myself for my assessment day comes.
Yep.
Just subscribed. Very
Excellent.
welcome. It's nice to see you here.
The assessment day should be a no-brainer, okay? The only people that fall short there are people with a medical situation, or those that shouldn't get in because there's something a little bit, or maybe they have done no preparation. And I do believe that they ask you to prepare too much. They expect you to have too many answers. You should be able to turn up and say, I'm fit, my administration's good to go, my body's good to go, and my attitude is second to none. Just give me a chance. And to me, that is more important than your knowledge and your qualifications, because your attitude tells me you are going to pass Kapuka. And if you pass Kapuka and you've turned up and you're robust, you're fit, you pass the attitude test, you pass the appearance test. That is one that I don't talk about and have never spoken about before. And Kaladar, good to see you over there, Dragon. And I've been doing my 100 every day. I've been doing my 100. It's fantastic. The appearance test the US uses, we don't. Where when someone turns up, you look at them and just go, you look like the shape of a soldier. Okay, you sort of already got a tick in the board, where someone else can come in and you go, right, you already look like we've got some work to do. You're not meant to be flipping people to become a soldier. They're meant to turn up ready to go. If this is their dream job, they should turn up ready, especially when we're competitive like we are at the moment. So guys, make yourself look like what you want to be, and gals. And there's more likely going to go, ooh, I want you on my team. Quickest way to stand out amongst other people. Dress well, look fit, corn chip, bam.
Yeah, corn chip. All right,
Hey,
JP
Daz.
says light infantry means you've got to carry everything.
No.
That's
Okay.
John Paul.
JP, you know that light infantry means we come unencumbered, and there's only one light infantry battalion at the moment, and that is the 2nd Battalion, the Royal Australian Regiment. JP, finish it for me. Second to none.
Oh, he will. It's even the little kids in our house knew how to say that.
Yeah.
All right. Daz is saying top of the evening to us. Hello,
G'day, Daz. How you going there, my man? And thank you very much for what you do. And JJ is about to become a submariner.
Oh, JJ. Is JJ here?
Yeah.
I keep missing people.
JJ's going to be a submariner. That doesn't mean he's going to work at Subway Team.
Okay. Yeah, no. Although it's a good company apparently to work for. Okay.
Consider becoming a member too at this stage, team, so that you can end up with the rank. We've got some full corporals there with JJ.
Yep. I don't think we've had a Kraken tonight, have we?
No, we haven't had a Kraken tonight. Daz, have we got a Stoddy tonight? No.
Yeah, we like to. Yes, Stoddy's here.
Is
We
Stoddy's
like
here?
to have one Kraken a night.
One Kraken means one person becomes a member. You just hit the join button.
Okay. Here's an interesting one. You have to excuse me because remember, I don't know about any of this stuff.
It's okay.
Okay. Democracy has said, regarding the long-range systems, I figure ATGMs
Yep.
and such, wouldn't you agree that there is a counter to those?
We're not talking about those. They don't fire very far at all. Anti-tank guided missiles. They haven't got a long range at all. I'm talking about something that fires 2,000 miles, goes into inner space, comes down. You were having a cigarette and a jaffle on the top of a tank, and now you're a ghost and didn't even know it. Patrick Swayze.
Yeah.
This is not about people that actually, the countermeasures that can be used and thermal imagery to see or hear a lock-on, etc. There's nothing they can do once this is fired. Yep.
Yeah. Bye, Iron Wolf's dad.
Bye-bye, mate. Thanks for coming here.
Yeah. Mr. Patterson's giving you your time warning.
Yeah, he always does. For those that don't know, Mr. Patterson is 2 years younger than Yoda, and he likes to keep us honest.
Yeah. Okay, here's one from Liam O'Brien, who is a member. Read that Australia just invested in K9 self-propelled howitzers.
Okay.
Those things look way more intense than a tank.
Well, it's about the delivery system, because they're in trouble too. Because if you are an artillery piece, even though they're potentially self-propelled and they're in an isolated location, same as anything that has a permanent sort of position that can be locked onto, then they become a target, right? These other systems, you need something that can fire as far as them, which means it's normally going into not counter battery, which is going to some sort of detection system. Now, I don't know a lot about it, but there is videos that I couldn't put on here today because of the brutality that shows there's heaps of them that show tanks being engaged in the last couple of years in the Syrian offensive and stuff. And it's really, really sad to watch,
Yeah. Okay. Here's the next one. Captain Cannon has asked, does the 2nd Battalion work with any Navy clearance divers at all?
Do they work with them? They'd work in the same vicinity, yes, but no, not with them. No, they could. You got to remember that what do we have? We have our sort of our groups that go from ship to shore sort of thing to create a lodgement of forces onto beachheads, etc., that go ahead, like scout swimmers, etc., the US use. There's helo casting where the helicopter flies past and you jump out the back into the water and then get to shore as well, sometimes into a boat, sometimes swimming. I don't actually know how the relationship would go together. A lot of the time the Navy swimmers are actually used for the protection of their own vessels as well. There is 4 companies of reconnaissance, 4 platoons, of reconnaissance in the 2nd Battalion. That's a lot. That's a lot of qualifications. It's a lot of specialisations. And by all accounts, they are next level. The 2nd Battalion is actually second to none. But they've taken a more of a reconnaissance role than a fighting patrol, which is all about information gaining, fast moving, highly trained. And I'd love to see them in action personally, but the reports are that they're legit.
Okay, here's one. Carl Janelle said, Kaz, I was thinking of going Cav for first choice in the reserves and infantry second. Now I'm not sure about Cav with the long-range missiles you are talking about. What are your thoughts?
Infantry are just as vulnerable on the battlefield. And army reserve, mate, that means that you will stay in Australia, most likely. I think that should be the last of your thought processes at the moment. Like I said, there's only one area that's potentially a threat in the future. I think it's a fantastic side hustle to have. I think you'll have a ball. It's just make sure you don't fall too in love with it, so that your primary employment suffers. We've got SOS there throwing a seasick cow into the paddock. Hi, Kaz and team, listening with my lovely lady.
Yeah, hello to her.
She asked about the female success rate at Kapuka. I think it's in line with everyone else. You got to remember that when the ladies go to Kapuka, they're mates like everyone else is with the guys, etc. The team just gets helps each other get through. And the only ways that you actually fail at Kapuka is either attitude, sickness, or unforecast injury through training. I don't know what the stats are on the genders, but
do they even keep those stats? They probably should, but I don't know if they do.
Yeah.
Okay, Brady says that the Jaffle Iron will shield you from all encounters.
This is a good point.
And then Mr. Patterson's showing his age, talking about eating offal, saying a beef and kidney jaffle.
There is no reason for that at all.
I actually like steak and kidney pies. They're yum.
There's no need for that either. But you come from Tasmania, the land of the Tasmanian devil, which is able to consume all.
On West Side, I've migrated here. Okay, and some pals going ham and cheese jaffle. John Paul wants to know, will they disband jaffle irons when they remove the tanks?
Well, we are supposed to be getting led by vegans soon. So as long as it stays as cheese, you're probably going to be okay.
Okay. Matthew Shepherd, who has some rank in amongst the members,
said,
hey, Kaz, quick question. Going for officers, got the OSB in a few weeks. They asked for my uni transcript, which, due to family issues, I had some bad marks. How much will that hurt my application?
Well, that will be something that they'll expect you to validate, to defend in your OSB, I'd imagine. So just go in there, be able to say, hey, this occurred. Press like if you can at the moment, team, so YouTube knows we exist. Mate, when you get in there, again, it can hurt you. It can. But if you go in there and you deal with that situation before they ask about it and say, this is what occurred, it wasn't because the girl in the front row said yes. I had family issues that meant that I had employment as well as family issues as well as the university that I had to rely on. But other than that, mate, it'll be interesting to see what they do and what they say. I don't see how university makes you a better officer other than showing you have ability to apply yourself to complex study and upskilling, educationally as a gentleman, I guess.
Yep. Okay. Tim really wants to know: are we actually losing our tanks?
We're not. We haven't announced it.
Right.
But the UK has. USA Marines have. They're also getting rid of some of their infantry.
That way?
Sorry?
You think we'll go that way?
I don't know. Because we're on a continent where I don't think they'll go overseas ever. But it'd cost probably more to get rid of them than what it would be to maintain them. I really don't know. We don't have enough of them to go around. We never would. We're one of the biggest continents in the world. But it's a weird thing when it comes to cost. When you tell someone to save money, sometimes they make decisions that aren't popular.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly right. Okay, Will Clifton has said, hey, Kaz, do you think the 2nd Battalion could ever possibly be transitioned into a special boat service like the UK?
That's an interesting one, Will. And I've thought about that and I've asked my friends, is it considered a Special Forces unit now or a specialised unit? There's difference because there's a SAFA pay, there's a Special Forces allowance that goes to Special Forces soldiers. Do they offer a capability that is special, or do they offer a specialised? Is there going to be a standalone course that is about what would you call it? Similar to a Carter course, a selection course. Is there going to be something like that so that someone in the School of Infantry goes, I want to go to 2nd Battalion. They go, well, everyone that's going to 1 area, 3 area, okay, 5, 6, 7, and 8, 9, you go that way. If you're going to 2 area, you still got to go and do this bridging course. I don't know. Maybe it could start to go that way. Maybe it could develop into something. But you've got to remember that SASR and 2 Commando Special Forces have already got their water troops Okay, so we have that function, we have that capability. This is going to be more at a grand level that when we do ocean lodgements, you know, a point of entry, whether that be a sea or air, you know, that these guys use, right? I don't know. I don't think they will. I think they'll just stay conventional, just like when 3RAR were airborne. Okay, they didn't get special forces allocations.
Yeah.
You know? They're just different.
Just different. And you guys have always been a little bit special.
Yeah, Men in Black.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's so hard to explain to people that, you know, we've explained before to everyone that's here. You do not feel like you have a job when you're in the military. I was speaking to one of my army base mates today. You never feel like you've got a job. It doesn't matter if you're sleeping in the rain. It doesn't matter if you're in Tully. You know, when you were in infantry in particular and you didn't have equipment other than, and I've said this a million times, your teeth and your weapon to clean, you turn up to work and you're around your best buddies. You don't want to be anywhere else. Okay, and you're with them all day, training with them. You're with them, shooting with them, running with them, swimming with them, eating with them, drinking with them, chasing girls with them. It is a 24-hour clock that goes for 365 days, and there's nowhere else you'd rather be.
No, exactly.
It's not a job. It honestly is like being in a footy team that doesn't knock off, or being in an NRL team house.
Yep. Yeah, that sounds bad. But
let's go and get a tattoo together.
yeah.
Do you mind if I start dating Sarah? It's been 2 days, mate. Give it a couple more.
Yeah, we're a close community.
Yeah.
What is that? We're not close. Mr. Patterson said he's going to send you a photo of some hat badges he has of the Derwent Regiment and the Launceston Regiment.
Were they the ones you sent me the other day? Oh, no, that was the King's Crown
No, he's probably sending
badges.
them now.
Okay.
Yeah.
He loves his paraphernalia.
Yeah, I love a bit of paraphernalia myself.
Mm.
I have a small collection of like little Remembrance Day badges from years gone by and things.
Mm.
Okay, let's find you another question. So if anyone's got a question, ask now. We're not going to talk about direct entry into special forces, are we? Let's have a different question. We've talked about that till the cows came home. Okay. Hey, Kaz, heading to Kapooka on the 21st. There's a lot of you going on the 21st.
There is.
I was just curious. My brother is currently at Kapooka and will be doing his march out during my quarantine period. Do you think they will allow me to attend? That's Rick Cuffle.
The word quarantine says no, mate.
Yeah, I don't think they will. But, you know, I think history, when you look back, if this only lasts for a small amount of time, you're going to be part of a very special part of history.
Yep. Yeah, you're right.
Look at it that way.
And Dave is just saying there no as well.
Yeah.
Dave's just come back from there last week.
Yeah, I would say no. Let me see. Who else has got a question? Okay, g'day Kaz. This is JM. Which is the hardest Royal Australian Regiment battalion to get into?
Well, at the moment it's 2nd Battalion. Okay, and the reason why I say that is because it's the smallest battalion, and the battalion is full. And because a lot of money's getting spent there, because the training there is epic, you know, because it's something new, because it's something that potentially will look good on Instagram once you get out, I think what's happening is the morale is fairly high there too. You know, they've just come back from being overseas, I think, for a few months on the boats. You know, and there is something about being out on Navy boats that is just hypnotic. It is fantastic. Looking off the continental shelf down at the water, it's absolutely beautiful. And you don't have a function. I'll give you a tip here. When you're on a Navy ship, and JP will be able to attest to this, and Mr. Bryce, Dave D, I hope you get to check it out. You don't actually have a function on the ship, you know? So you've got even less to do and no paperwork to do. All you got to do is sleep, play poker, eat, fart, do push-ups, laugh, and just have a good time on the ship. They just want you to stay the hell out of their way because everyone in the Navy actually has a role to do. We've got Flinny there with a horse in the paddock. A cow in the paddock. Hey, Cass, recently just went down to Townsville on the assessment day. Went really. Have a PFA on the 23rd. Loving the videos. Lots of cow. For your green cow there, Flinny. Mate, that's great to hear. Assessment day went really well. That's it. And as we know, if you don't pass your PFA, then you're not prepared. It should be come back in 1 year.
Yeah, exactly.
Pre-fit,
Okay.
Get rid of it.
Yeah. Here's one from JJ. Hey, Kaz, do you think making a career in comms and information could be transferred into ASIO and intelligence in the future? And I can actually even answer that because I had a ex-boyfriend who did that. And yes, it can be.
Absolutely. And the reason why I say that is not just your ability to use communications devices. It's the fact that your clearances are going to be so high. It can be almost an impossibility in the civilian sector to go and get these clearances. Yeah. So much to get it done and so much money to get it done. Yet when you go for the army, it's free. Yeah.
Yep, exactly. Okay. Jack would like to know, Kaz, is there an opportunity to show off swimming skills in any military training?
Well, absolutely there is. Not only with helicopter underwater escape training, but what you may not know, they're probably on hold at the moment, but every year there is a battalion and brigade swimming and athletics carnival. It's like being at school. Turn up in your yellow shirts for Alpha, blue for Bravo, green for Charlie, red for Delta when they had that before the SIB Standard Infantry Battalion model. And then you've got your support company, admin company. But then you go to the brigade and you go against all the other corps in the swimming competition, etc. So good on you, mate.
Okay, here's one from Vincenzo.
Good name.
Hey, Kaz, I've been given a class 4. I want to be in the artillery more than anything. What should I do? What's the likelihood of my appeal working?
Oh, I don't even know what it's for, mate.
Yeah.
I don't know what your class 4 is for, but it doesn't look good. But we've also had a lot of appeals get there. But you know what I'd say? I would say, tell me the truth. Should I never try again? Or is there a chance of me passing? Because the sad fact of the matter is that some of the disqualifying factors for getting into the military, sometimes that can cost you a significant amount of money to be able to clear your name, to get the new medical evidence so that you actually have an opportunity to be able to have a crack at that said role. And some of the situations you have absolutely can be catastrophic to you if you get into the military. So you've got to be careful of that too.
Randomizer has asked, am I currently able to just walk into it? That's actually a question that you're going to have to look at your state legislation for, because different places are locked down differently. So we don't know if you're able to just walk into the recruiting centre or if you should do it online perhaps, or give them a call. But check your state legislation because it's different wherever you are. JP's talking about he spent 2 weeks on an aircraft carrier, 24-hour mess and gym. That sounds kind of cozy. Actually, it sounds pretty good.
It can be, but when you have limited amount of shower facilities, and when you get on a gym in the NAF, that sea is moving at all. It can be scary watching the bench press and the weights starting to slide around. You got to make sure you go at the right time. And you've got to be able to make sure that you actually have the time close to your shower period, because you can't go and have a shower whenever you want. It is when the heads, so to speak, are open for you and your allocation. And when you're an infantry on a boat and you're not with snipers or with support company, quite often you've got 30 people to a room, with your sleeping bunks, and that can be 3 or 4 high. And when one person farts, everyone tastes it. You're basically all on top of each other. And if someone wants to go to the gym at the cost of everyone else and stinks like a bloody Hebrew's armpit, it doesn't go down well.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, maybe you could explain why you get called pongos.
Well, no one calls us pongos. That's an old saying. Wherever the army goes, the pong goes, the smell goes, etc. Because we actually get out and sweat. You know. But you will find and JP will attest to this as well, that once you are actually in the field for 3 or 4 days and you start to become a shadow of civilization, where you start to become more beast than man.
Is it like Jumanji?
It is like that. Where people are just scratching like monkeys, and animals get closer and closer to you because the human scent, the artificial smells around you are gone, and it's replaced with the smell of ball sweat and grease.
I only know that smell you're talking about, so it's
Lauren,
making me gag.
Lauren used to wash the soldiers' clothes to say take it off outside. When you come back from Tully and you pull your boots off and there's leeches in the bottom of them, that are as fat as an Adelaide bloody thumb. It's disgusting. And
JP just summed it up. It smells like feet, fart, and armpit.
all in a can and sprayed on liberally.
Okay, let's change the conversation. I'm getting a little bit of bile in
Stench.
my mouth. Okay, Chief Cunning Coyote has asked, hey Kaz, do they involve boxing training in Kapuka or any other locations?
They used to. Boxing used to be a really big thing in the military, but then there were some really bad accidents, and Rizzy knows about those too, where some people got some pretty horrific injuries, mismatching, etc. When we used to fight, it wasn't weight divisions. They would put you in with who you wanted to fight. As a matter of fact, when I went to the School of Infantry, you had to fight. And all that was, we were at the Stockton range, where you used to go and do your range facility. And all I did was put 4 posts up there. You were allowed to drink. And you had to pick someone that you were going to fight and then get in there and fight for the sergeant's entertainment. So you just grab someone. I didn't know. I grabbed a boxer who went to 1RR named Bishop. And he could be the reason why my nose looks like a shark fin now.
I think JP did his fair share of boxing when he was
Yep.
there too. He might be able to answer some of your boxing questions in the chat. Okay, here's someone. I saw a question there.
We've got 8 minutes to go, team. 8 minutes.
Oh, okay. Hi, Kaz and Lauren. What is the situation regarding quarantine before and at Kapuka for new recruits? Do you know what that is?
I believe that if you're from Victoria, that you'll go and Dave, Dave can tell us, he knows more than us about it. But I believe if you're from Victoria, you go to one area where you'll start your training, and everyone else will go to their area and do their training. And after 2 weeks, you come together, and then start to do your communal training together. And then when you leave from there, I don't think regular soldiers go into quarantine. I don't think they do.
Yeah.
I think they might go straight to their unit. But reserves have to go to quarantine in hotels before they go home.
Yep.
Tax free.
What?
Tax free.
Tax free. Yep. Okay, you ready? Sorry, was I moving you along too quickly?
No, you're good.
Okay. Brady Carr said that your cams take on a life of their own. They do, indeed, after enough time.
You don't go near raw flame once you've been outfield for 2 weeks. You put a match near it and all of your tinea and your jock rut it's flammable, mate. And the grease. My uniform in East Timor in 1999, was so bad with the amount of salt that had come out of our bodies that you could stand our shirt up by itself with the arms out, and it could stand up.
Yeah, exactly. And the socks, like, what even happened to them? How do you go through that many socks?
Just chronic tinea.
Oh, my gosh. It's certainly not glamorous at all.
I think one of the most disgusting things is about after you've been in the military for a considerable amount of time is just how open we are and how hard it is to offend us, we will eat pizza out of the bin You know, you'll look at it and go, that's not a weird colour. I trust it. You know, there will be, we'll look at chicken like, you're not going to live forever. You know, I think it's cooked through. You know,
it's hideous. I went to a food festival once with John Paul and the kids, and there was like a little bit, everyone had their leftovers, so I just put them all on one plate, and a kid stuck half an eaten soft serve on top of this fried rice and stuff, and John Paul just picked it up and ate it, and everybody was horrified.
That's right. It doesn't work for long. Simon Powell's saying piss on your toes, it fixes tinea. Not for long, but not for long. Not when you're as fermented as what my toes are. All ladies, take that into account.
Oh, God.
As you're swiping right.
You sell yourself so well.
I've been to piss ups before, Lauren, where you're having a backyard piss up with the platoons, which was quite common.
Yeah.
And you've had them at your place before.
Yeah.
And press like if you can, team, on that like button so that YouTube actually says we like this video.
Yes, please do.
And I've seen people where there's a lot of ladies there too, and because you're getting on the piss with a singlet on, boardies or shorts and thongs, because it's North Queensland, and the amount of soldiers that don't even realise they're doing it, and they're just scratching their tinea between their toes while they're talking to guys or girls, not even realising that the ladies are looking like, this is the grossest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
You know? And prickly heat.
Yeah, oh, that's awful. Even the kids in towns will get it. It's awful.
That is
You
terrible.
get an icicle or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you got time for more questions?
Yeah, look, we have.
Okay.
If we can get one more member, we'd love it. If one person can jump on the join train and start that promotion cycle, enlist.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, John Paul said he had a mate who took a barbecued chicken out bush and was eating it for 3 days.
We had a guy who was angry at the system and he took out like a half a kilo bag of prunes.
Oh no.
His name was Hunter and he already had equivalent to 4 people's worth of hair around his anus.
Oh gosh.
And he was just pissed off that he was going out bush because he didn't want to, so he just started eating prunes on the 45-minute drive to high range. And I'll tell you what.
Did everyone suffer or just him?
Just him. He showed us.
Yeah.
He looked like a troll.
Prunes really work. Okay. Here we go. Randomizer said armored vehicle crew has a higher salary than both infantry soldier and combat engineer. What explains the difference? Is it more dangerous, more technical? It doesn't make sense to them.
I don't know. Do they have a higher salary? And you know what? Most of the people in the military are one of two people. One, someone who is awesome with their finances and owns houses early and they set themselves up very, very quickly and they're laughing. Yeah. And then there's the other people. It won't matter how much you give them. You know, it's like they've come from Detroit and they go, I want a golden kebab. You know, all their money just runs through their fingers because it is the same as being a celebrity. It is the same as being a rock star, sports star. You live for the moment. You absolutely just live for the moment. And in your mind, when you think, I'm going to do this forever, you don't think about saving for some reason.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, Liam O'Brien wants to know how Christmas close down works. He can't imagine everybody just gets to go home.
Well, this is a video that I need to make. Thank you very much for bringing that up.
Yep.
We're in uncharted territory. I really don't know what's going to happen. And I reckon the army right now are going, I don't know what to do. What do I mean by that? Well, what's going to happen is every year the army basically closes down and they have a skeleton crew. The operational deployment force is good to go. The readiness guys are still at work. You know, you'll have a battalion and a task force that is good to go at a moment's notice, so to speak, until we actually get more people back on deck. But that's a normal year. Everyone goes home between 6 and 8 weeks and normally comes back on the 17th of January, NCOs first, with officers, and then the soldiers normally come back on the 20th, and that's when you start your mandatory training about suicide awareness, about you name it, about heat illness, all that sort of stuff. But if they send everyone home from Kapuka in a split course, from School of Infantry in a split course, from Pucker, from Steel Barracks Sydney. What's going to happen? Are they going to send everyone back and say, you're going to have quarantine when you get home? Are you going to have quarantine before you come back? Who's going to pay for that? How much would it cost? What is the consequence to training that this is going to cause? If I was a logistics person in the Australian Army right now, and he's looking at a budget trying to make that fit, I wouldn't know what to do. I really wouldn't. It's going to be a dilemma. But what could happen, because remember the reason why you get Easter off, September off, Christmas off, is for life balance, so you can be there when your kids are on holidays and have that quality time for them before you prepare for the threat again.
Yeah, because military families are unique families, and you need that time. Even if you don't have children, you're going to need that time with your folks or your cousin or whoever. You're going to need to have an anchor to balance with your family. Otherwise, you could grow distant, and nobody wants that.
Hawks has got a good question here. Hawks statement. 232 is the difference between armoured and grunts in today's army is zero because of motorised, mechanised. But in the past, grunts were considered cannon fodder to an extent. But today, everyone needs a HSC, etc. It's an old norm. We don't need a HSC. You can get in with year 10, pass in English and maths. 4 subjects if you're going to go and be a trade, etc. I don't. There's going to be a tactical requirement for Cav that they may not get troops in the back like they used to, but they'll have more of a fighting vehicle approach. Or protected mobility for support corps. I don't know how it's going to fit in. I want to talk to someone so I can find out, but it's interesting.
Yes, that is quite interesting. Okay. Mr. Patterson reckons he's broke one day after pension day.
I've had that feeling before. Pay to pay sucks. Once you get into that, oh God, it's hard to get out of. Always have money in the bank. Never let yourself get back to pay. That's terrible.
Yeah, exactly. Gabe has asked, what is the officer job going to look like if you're thinking about a lifetime career? Currently testing for RMC.
Okay, Gabe, I can answer that. You've got 2 sorts of careers. When you go in as an officer, you've got the ADFA, which means you're normally going to look at going there because you intend on going beyond captain, beyond major, and you want to go up to colonel and then up to brigadier, etc., and continue moving. You have aspirations to get to the top, so to speak. RMC, normally those guys stop, around lieutenant colonel, etc., major, lieutenant colonel, if they're really good, etc. Although I've seen some lieutenant colonels who were really not that good at all. One in particular. 2 in particular, actually. But anyway, what you need to remember is that major is an amazing rank. It may not be considered an amazing rank for your cohort, which is what they will call you. Not a company, they'll call it a cohort, Roman, cohort, when you go to RMC. And you will track each other through your careers where you'll realise that Fiona is doing really well kicking goals, that Mike is doing really badly because of an incident that tarnished his career. But once you get to major, especially if you get to field rank, that means you're actually in a tactical unit where you'll get a significant pay rise and you'll be on that for the rest of your career when you're not at a field unit even. It's one of the best jobs in the world. It is like the officer from that shoots himself in the head, actually, in Dances with Wolves, when Kevin Costner turns up there and that guy's just sitting with basically in his underpants with a whiskey bottle. You can get sent overseas. Even when it's ceiling rank, that you're not going to get promoted beyond that. There's all sorts of postings that you can get that are fantastic while getting paid pretty bloody good money to drink wine, eat cheese, go to events, stay fit, and basically just take your family on an adventure. I reckon major's a fantastic rank. Yep, and you're not supervised almost at all. Yep.
That's scary.
It is. I reckon it's the most dangerous rank in the army is the major. Yep.
Yeah, you're possibly right. Okay. Jen, after Next Tactics, has asked, can you help him understand what the army grooming standards are for like hair and facial hair?
Well, you have to shave every single day. If you don't, you will get charged.
You don't need to shave, right?
Sorry?
Even if you don't need to shave, if you're a gentleman who maybe could shave with a warm butter knife, you still have to go through the motions of shaving. Is that correct?
You do. Yep. You do. You have to shave. You have to be clean shaven every day. Yeah. Also, you have to have a haircut that is in to the dress manual, so you don't become a hippie. But look at some of our special forces guys, and look at some of our people with relaxed grooming standards, so to speak, especially when field is coming close, when you come back from leave, etc. I got caught where I couldn't get a haircut, and I looked like a bloody one of the Bee Gees.
I thought you were going to say the Beatles. Yeah.
I had one soldier I really felt bad for. It was the day before holidays. He was a muso, really loved his music. And he had beautiful hair too. And he was told to get a haircut. He'd just finished his subject course and he didn't get it done. And so I said to him, look, mate, there's two things that can happen. One, I can just shave it off. Two, I could charge you, because you've been told to do it. You didn't do it. You gambled. So I said, I'm going to give you one more chance. It's holidays tomorrow. He goes, yep. I said, if you can beat me in push-ups in 1 minute, if you can beat what I get, you can keep your hair. So if you can't do those push-ups, you're telling me you didn't really want to keep your hair. He was going to go to Byron Bay. He was going to have a ball, And I did the push-ups. He couldn't match me. So I gave him a reverse mohawk. So just one in the centre and then said, you can do the rest, and walked off and said, we'll call ourselves even. But, yeah, he rolled the dice. He didn't do the push-ups, and I was the one that had told him to get the haircut, and then he never got the haircut, but I didn't punish him either. He learnt that day. And he was a terrific guy. Loved him.
Yeah. Okay, Mr. Patterson doesn't want me to do any more repeat questions. I was trying not to, Mr. Patterson.
He's a hard man.
Yeah, he is. I'm always trying to meet his standard, as I know you and Mr. Buckaroni are striving to do. Okay, I'm just...
Hey, Brucey M., what are your thoughts on the Lieutenant Colonel rank in the Army? What's your count? Can I quickly answer that one?
Yeah, go.
It's the last military rank before you leave your corps and become a politician. That's what happens. Lieutenant Colonel is the top of the heap for officers, where you'll be in charge of a battalion, where you'll be in charge of the School of Infantry, where you'll be a school commander, the CO, so to speak. After that, you're going to be different areas where your uniform looks different. You become a red tabber, but then you'll be at the very bottom of the heap of the next level, high school for officers, so to speak. I've had some lieutenant colonels that have been absolutely magic, right? And some that haven't been. Right? As long as they don't forget that their priority is meant to be the silver soldier, is looking after their unit and not looking to what they're about to become and what they could become, skipping rope to become a politician instead of being a commander of men. And I think that there is a dark side.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun.
There is a dark side.
And I think what happens is when they embrace the dark side, we see moral courage disappear, right? And then it's all about their career. And we're seeing the same happening with our premiers at the moment in Australia. And we're seeing it with a lot of our police chiefs as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's right, Hawks is saying there. Then they end up at Vic Barracks at staff officers pretending to like the taste of olives.
Yeah. Eating cucumber sandwiches.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay. Here's one. Someone would like to know your thoughts on the Australian War Memorial upgrade. It is quite controversial.
It's massive. And you know what? The War Memorial is always beautiful. People that come from overseas see it and cannot believe it's free. Righto? It's state of the art. I've been to a lot of them overseas that aren't as good.
Yeah. I need another I need like 2 years just to actually fully take it all in that's there now.
And they've only got, it's like an iceberg. You're only seeing a very small percentage of the artifacts that are there that they can't display. If they stop asking for grants, the grants will stop coming. So they need to keep that updating. It's a beautiful monument to the sacrifice of Australians for the pursuit of peace, a reminder to the politicians at the end of the boulevard that they actually have real responsibility for their actions, and there is a price in Australian sons and daughters. Yep, if they get it wrong, they really pay that price.
Yeah, exactly. Any advice for the young lads who have never shaved and are now all of a sudden finding themselves a bit panicking that no one's ever taught them how to shave?
You will learn to shave, mate. You'll learn. You're living in a day where you have quad blades and stuff like that. Beautiful. Back in our day, it was basically a piece of sharpened rock, that was attached to a piece of aluminium can and dragged across your skin.
What did Mr. Patterson do then?
They used fire. Lest we forget, as Hawk says. Yeah. Well, guys and gals, honestly, we can talk forever. If we get one more member, now, I will take this to the 2 hour mark. 1 hour. So that'll be another 19 minutes. If we get a member now. That's it.
Is there any Krakens?
Is there anyone who wants to press the join button beside the subscribe button and become a member? Enlist in the channel.
Yeah. It's okay if you don't, though.
That's fine.
We just want to see a Kraken.
It's fine. We just always ask.
Yeah,
that's it.
We do, because we actually love it when you commit to us, because we are committed to you.
It's true. Do you want to talk for 20 more minutes anyway? If you got anywhere you need to be?
I don't have to be anywhere. I'm just sitting here with the dog.
I'm not getting chased by any hounds either.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to talk for another 18 minutes anyway. We'll talk for the 2 hours. All right?
Yep. Yeah, because anything's easy after the epic stream.
Yeah, the epic stream. I tried to get into to Loretta today to give her the money.
But she actually she contacted me to get you to contact her or that, so I'll talk to you about that later.
I got onto Roddy and he was off in the stars. Timmy Doust, Ironside, join us, but be careful what you say. Ironside Tango, there he is, 1 AR.
He's a
1 armoured regiment.
Yeah, there you go.
Guys and gals, it's okay. Ironside, would be interesting to hear what you've heard about the tank debacle that's happening. We've got to be very careful about getting rid of something. I already don't like the fact that we went from a 10-man section to a 9-man section, now down to an 8-man section. But the modularity of the modern military machine for Australia, that's fine to have motorised and mechanised if we're going to have that vehicle, whether it be motorised or mechanised, that compensates the firepower. We'll actually have 10 times more firepower from an elevated position that can be used as an ambulance. My fear is just being trapped in something that is made of metal when you get hit by something that causes burning. Yeah, I'd rather be out on the ground.
That wouldn't be good.
No. Jay Hayes is here.
Yeah, he's here. Where's Derek?
West side. Derek is next door. For those that don't know, my daughter's mum doesn't play dolls with our daughter, so I have to. But for any of the dads out there, happy Father's Day for starters.
Yep.
Playing dolls with your young daughter is a great thing, because the conversations you can't have with them normally, you can have them with them through the doll, so to speak.
Yep.
It's a really smart way.
It is smart. It's good parenting. Kids learn through play. The other day I went downstairs and there was John Paul with our granddaughters, and he had makeup on and a scrunchie in, and he was having a little tea party. So it's good parenting.
I won't wear makeup.
If she wanted to put it on, you have to let her.
Ah!
You should.
I can't even say this name. It takes me back to Channel 7 Chopper. It chills me to my feet. Nito Mosquito. love the fact you're still at this, Kaz. You helped me 2 years ago when I enlisted, and I rewatched a lot with my the missus who enlists next month. Fantastic, Nito. Make sure that you let us know what's going on with us so we can track her progress too. And look who we've got.
Matt and Jody are here.
Matt and Jody, the lovely Patreon members, and also members from the USA. Hey, it's USA. Matty and Jody, happy Father's Day. Mate, great to have yous here. You know, for those that don't know, and I hope you don't mind me saying, Jody, you know, who lost her son, veteran, but at the same time that we lost one of our Special Forces veterans from the same way, fighting against the Black Dog. So to anyone that has been lost, you know, once they've come back home, which can be a hell of a lot lonelier than what it is in a platoon, out of respect to Jody and Matt, one, I love yous. I love talking to yous. Matt is very quiet, but they shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. And at the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them. And we do remember them, lest we forget. You know, we've got a beautiful poem for James, and also for Ian Turner. And it was a pleasure to write that for Jody. And I don't think I've even sent it to you yet, but I've put it back up, haven't I?
Yeah,
I believe I've put it back up for you, Jody.
Yeah. She's saying we're all up late. Yeah, we are up north. This is later than usual for the stream. Yeah. We've tested our endurance recently, haven't we, though, with the epic stream, and now we're stronger and faster.
And Jody was there for that.
Yeah,
she popped in.
Great.
Yeah. What time is it there, Jody? Over in the USA. And mate, I'm sorry to hear what's happening over on the Oregon Trail, etc.
Yeah.
It's terrible, you know. Yeah. Ian and James say their names. Say their names.
Yep.
Okay. Ian and James. Same day. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. We will remember them. We will. And we do remember them.
We do.
It's so important that we talk to you about the things that are important before you join, but also the things that while you join and what's waiting for you after you actually get out. Because then it's not hollow words. Then it's people that are actually really caring for you. But what we will bring up here is there's a massive difference between mateship and friendship.
Yep.
I'll explain that quickly. I'm going to make a video on this one too. A quick video I'll make on this one. And that is that friendship is about liking someone. You know, is the continued enduring friendship that continues after mateship is not required. Mateship, what do I mean by that? Mateship is a necessary bonding of people in an adverse conditions that are about the same mission, that need each other to survive, that have to have each other's backs. The proper diversity, that means it doesn't matter what your background, what your colour, what your religion, you must stay together or you're all going to fall. So one of the things that can disappear quite quickly after military service is the mateship can disappear, but not the friendship. But normally we go back to where we started our lives before we joined our army, the army, and all we do is remember who we used to be and what we used to do. And that is where it can become very difficult, because a mate won't necessarily get back in touch with you, but a friend will. So sometimes there's a blurring of the lines where people go, no one cares about me. Go, no, they're dealing with their own shit.
And that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. So we need somewhere where people can come and feel like they can gob off and laugh about those times and say, Kaz, that's bullshit. Or I concur with that. I feel like I'm home. Yeah. There's a difference. Sometimes you have both. That's when it's really strong, mateship and friendship.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Let's just clear something up for a second.
Yep.
World Doro is confused.
Thanks, Bruce.
You weren't saying that Australia is getting rid of tanks right now and forever, that it's official, were you?
No. And I'll talk about 2 seconds. Brucey M just threw a yellow cow, a jaundiced cow, into the paddock.
Yeah.
Not so cow.
Yeah.
Bruce, stop it.
Yeah,
Okay.
Bruce. It's 7 a.m. where Jodie is.
7 a.m.
Yeah, she's up early.
That's what happens as you get older, team. The gift of
Yeah.
sleep disappears. You always feel tired, but you also get out of bed early. It doesn't make sense. It's like a child who thinks they're going to miss Scooby-Doo,
Yeah,
not
and
realising there's reruns for the next 30 years.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, people need to realise too, if you are taking, when people come into the channel, we do take them at face value that they are what they say they are, but we don't have any way to check that. So any information that you get in the chat from somebody who's claiming to be something, just remember it's just an anonymous person on the internet, and it actually could be anyone.
That's true. In answer to the question we were talking about before, I'm not saying is Australia going to get rid of theirs, because apparently we've just invested more money into the Abrams, more money into them. But the Americans are getting rid of them from the Marines, as well as some battalions and some rotary wing. UK is getting rid of tanks again, saying they're not viable. They don't. Their importance and their vulnerability now because of long-range weapon systems they can't defend against, make them almost not worth the price that it costs to maintain, to train, or to improve and research and develop. And that is staggering. The amount of fuel, when you could have multiple weapon systems. Remember, their firepower used to compensate for the lack of firepower that was there for APCs, etc. But now that we have LAVs, upgraded boxes, etc., and we've got weapon systems with 23mm cannons that can fire armor-piercing rounds, over 2 kilometres on a flat trajectory, that can also have armor-defeating missile systems, remote weapon stations, so you can stay closed down, etc., then they manage to dominate and be as mobile as any tank can be with a lower signature. So I don't know. Is it a good decision? Is it a bad decision? Only the future will tell us. But I think the way technology is going, no one is safe, no matter where they are, if they decide that you're the target. And I think that we're going to see regular militaries being overseas police forces. I think that's what they're going to get used for, as well as domestic quelling of situations where there is too much prejudice between police in some areas and they need a neutral agency identity, people that can be used beyond the police force with a different rules of engagement system.
It might even be time to change things up. As arenas change, we have to adapt.
Do you know what the arena is the Spanish name for?
What?
Sand.
Is it really?
Translate to sand.
That makes sense, yeah. That makes sense.
And the vomitarium wasn't about Romans actually eating and gorging and then making themselves sick so they could eat more, which is the myth. It's actually the gates of the Colosseum where people used to come out of. The vomitarium was where they used to come out.
Oh, like it was vomited them out.
Yeah, it was considered... it was considered such a masterful design.
Yeah.
Because you could fill it or completely empty it in less than 15 minutes.
It will have been effective. Yeah, that's probably less of a fire hazard than the mad cow was.
Yeah. If you ever get a chance to go anywhere in the world, team, Italy is one of the places, and Rome is astronomically amazing. It can change your life. You can stand beside a well and just wonder what dignitaries used this, who drank from this, what frivolities happened. Was it here for Caesar before the emperors existed? Was it there for Trajan when he came home? Was it there for the triumphs when they marched through the streets? Were slaves allowed to drink at it? Have some bruschetta while you ponder and roll your ankle on a cobblestone like Kaz did.
Oh, did you really?
Yes, end up falling down my own filth. I got lost for 36 hours.
Oh, really?
As soon as we landed, I started drinking litres of beer, and we went out and I was drinking all day, while my mate was drinking with me, and I just said, I'm gonna go, find something to eat, and I forgot the name of my hotel. It's the Pimienta Hotel. I'll never forget it. It's now like another PTSD for me. And basically, I couldn't find it. My key card stopped working. I was trying to ring Egypt from a Roman soldier. It was a weird event. I tried to get arrested thinking that would help. They didn't. And I ripped a.
Desperate are you? Where's that best plan?
I had tears in my eyes. I was that angry. And it was like 2 o'clock in the morning. I got in a taxi, couldn't speak Italian properly, so I tried my Spanish lingo. And then the map, every time we were getting wrong, I was watching the Euros going up further and further and further. And this guy could see my anger going up further and further and further. And then I ripped the map up and threw it out of the taxi. And then he had to stop because I don't ever litter.
Yeah,
and then
no, neither.
And then I punched myself in the face about 3 times because I was getting so frustrated and drunk and angry. And basically I rampaged. And then the next day I just walked around all day and
You went on a Roman rampage.
I did. Yep.
Great stories for the grandkids.
The debauchery of the peasant.
Yeah.
5 likes if we hit 100, team. Let's get there. Let's hit the sea, the Roman sea. 5 likes if we can.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of people gone to bed. I think it was it Megan said goodnight?
Oh, night, Megan.
Yeah, night, Megan. And I didn't see if there was anyone else going to bed. Good night. Hayden's going to bed. Good night, Hayden.
Yeah. Hayden played cricket for Australia.
Yeah. This is our Hayden Lynch.
Hey, Gold Account. God bless you, Kaz. What did I say to get that one there, Gold? I try to be a nice person, but I come unstuck sometimes. Nito Mosquito says, so a standard quiet night on the cans, Kaz. Yeah.
You are a lovely person. And just because you get a little cromedy doesn't mean you're not a nice person.
I think people see my online and don't realise that I can go broken arrow, you know?
Yeah, which is true. I've got to say, I don't think anyone can tame a wild Kaz.
But everyone... You know, it's good for people to know that you have that ability too.
Exactly. Yeah.
We've got 4 minutes. Is there any questions you want to touch on before we get out of here, team?
Questions. Let's go. Anybody got any? I'm a night owl as well, really, Bretty, but I still get up early.
Yeah. Mr. Nat. I just got to start getting itchy back just thinking about a Mr. Nat. I just joined the stream. What are your thoughts on Australia's cybersecurity and cyber warfare? I'd say it's cutting edge, mate. We're part of the Five Eyes. We're on the inner sanctum of what looks like to be the right side of history.
Yeah.
Mate, lucky. I don't know what's going to happen from here. I don't. But it feels like we're sometimes having a go at each other when what we're going through is a technological epoch where everything is about to change for better, you'd imagine. Where poverty is sort of getting left behind, where technology, everyone is being lifted up, where the things we take for granted. But does this mean that we have to start looking at, for Australia, the college voting system in Australia so that our country's the way of life is not designed by just Sydney and Melbourne and Brisbane, that the people that do all the hard work in the outback, the people that have forgotten, the silent people throughout Australia in the rural locations that work tirelessly still have a vote. It's important that their voice is heard. They're the ones that keep us propped up.
Yeah, exactly.
One vote, it shouldn't come down to who gets the most votes. It should be some sort of college system where everyone's voice is heard. And there should be some people that aren't allowed to vote. We need to bring that in.
Possibly, yeah. Okay, Simon Powell has a last minute question, which I think might be a bit cheeky. He said, I have a question for Kaz. Why do you think that the Air Force is better than the Army?
That is fake news right there.
Cheeky,
Stop it,
he?
you cheeky bastard.
He is cheeky. He needs a smack. Okay.
He'd accept a smack from you, Lauren.
Yes, I could give him one. All right, Connie Wilkinson. Hi, Connie.
Hey, Connie, how you going?
What can parents do to help when their kids are in the forces? That's a really good question.
I would definitely say you have to let them fly, for starters. they're outside the nest. But what you should do is set up a non-negotiable, Connie, where they ring you, where you say, I want you to talk to me. I want you to remember where you came from, even if you get a girl, or girl gets a girl, or girl gets a guy. Every holidays, you owe me at least half of it. You come back home. You show us, until you have children, you come back home and you give that to us, loyalty to your family. And most soldiers always will fly home to see their parents and then halfway through go, I've just got to go. I've got to roll and get out of there. Sometimes it's a good idea to put a little caravan in the backyard so they've got somewhere where they can go to and not feel like there's an expectation to be normal, so to speak.
They're not the same person when they come back. They've grown up, they're different, and it can be hard to sort of bond with your family when you've changed a little bit. So, I think patient.
And except you're not going to like everything about the new kid.
No.
They're in a brass tacks world where we say what we mean, and all of the things, the rules for civilian conversation and all that go out the window when soldiers realise there's only soldiers around. The dark humour comes out. Sometimes it can sound like immaturity. There's time and place for it, but some people just don't know when to zip it, and put on the doppelganger and pretend to be a normal human being every now and then.
Yeah, you can only hold that up for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very scary for a young man. I'm not sure what that was. That one about there, Jody?
I think she's talking about when young men join up and are away from home and then come home and the whole sparkle, I think. Aidan Montgomery has said, hey, Kaz, in your opinion, what's the best way to explain to your loved ones your desire to join up?
Aidan, it comes down to your age. It comes down to your commitment. It comes down to what you're leaving behind. And remember that you're taking them on the journey with you. You need to look at yourself and say, okay, if I'm going to make this commitment, then I need to be serious about it. They need to see my actions. If you're talking about joining the army, they need to see that every second day you've got the running shoes on in the rain, taking yourself seriously, so they take you seriously. If you take yourself seriously, they'll understand the mission. Now, if you can explain to yourself why you want to join, then you should be able to explain to your parents why you want to join. You should be able to explain to them that you need to do this, that you need at least 4 years behind you. And I will tell you, when I think what is the length of time that you should serve for before considering getting out, I would say at least get to section commander, 2 stripes. The reason why I say that is that's still all ground level. That's still frontline man management where you're going to learn all your skill sets. If you still want to stay in after section commander, you're probably in for the long haul. That's you. But after section commander, you get a hell of a lot of skills, and opportunities to either get corps transferred and do something that gives you tickets, or to get out and understand that you know what it's like to be in command of direct command of people. You should be the chief of HR. You know how to treat people emotionally. You know the code of conduct. You know how to make decisions. You know about responsibility, consequences of actions. You are a parent for at least 7 other people that are all volunteers. And if you did a good job of that, then you were going to be an asset to anyone that says yes to you in their workforce. Guaranteed.
Yeah.
You won't know that at 4 years. All you'll have if you get out at 4 years is regrets that you got out.
That's usually how it goes.
Yep. Just a few more years. Jody Stevens, Captain Cannon, just know that home is not the same as when you left it. And neither are you. That's it.
Exactly. Yeah.
And the hardest things for parents, the very hardest things, Connie, is sometimes you can't solve their problems.
Yeah, exactly. It's awful. It's really awful when your kids grow up.
Yeah.
If you've been a good mum, it's really awful.
Yeah. And Jody knows really well about that. Sometimes, my mum and dad, I had to read them a poem that I wrote about Rwanda. And that I only read that like last year or the year before.
Yeah.
And they were stunned. they'd heard little broken stories every now and then. But when I actually read the poem, that I'll publish on here again if I can see 5 or 6 hands of colour come up down here. I'll get that poem out so you can understand where I come from and why I am the way I am.
And we love your poetry too. We haven't heard any for ages.
Yeah. Flubberdubber and friends. Can you go to ad for some time after RMC? No, I don't believe. Nutsu Cow. ADFA is there to throw a cast net over young people and get them into that system before they actually go to civilian university. They're getting you on the way up. And you'll get a Rosso that you have to fulfill after that. Okay, one more question. Hands of colour. There we go. JJ.
Hey, you got one?
No. I'm just waiting for one.
Oh, okay. I'm just looking for one too. Oh, do I have to scroll back?
Oh, there's one. Let's go for Hawks 232. It took me from the day I signed up to the day I marched into North Head, then Kapuka, 8 days, and I'll give my car numbers to prove it if you need. It took me from day one, sign up, to the day I marched into North Head, then Kapuka. It took me day one. I can't understand that.
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
Ben Robbo, Kaz 1-on-1. Who's better equipped for the field, USMC or RAR infantry? Heard ADF actually was better field equipped. Oh, I'd say we are too. Look, this is a very hard thing for people to hear. That we make celebrities out of foreign armies, but seem to scoff at our own. Every time that I've done an exchange with the USMC, except for the one time I got bashed by the USMC in Townsville, okay, we have outperformed them, as rifle companies against their entire battalions, whether it be on live fire ranges, whether it was in sporting events, or whether it was field craft, or whether it was actually on field exercises. We had a lot of high props coming from the command that were there, but not to mention that from their soldiers as well. And that's a really big badge of office, badge of honour, when another soldier from another country is happy to work with you. And remember, we've fought with USMC. Okay, we've fought with the Marines before in Korea, among other places. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Here's one more thing I think we should touch on before we go. Gaming Tyson just said, what happens if you don't make it into the army? Well, life goes on, Tyson, and you have to pick yourself up and dust yourself off and make a new plan.
What happens if you don't get the girl that is your dream girl, your crush?
Exactly. Look, you don't always get what you want in life. It's sad but true, and you have to just make the best of what you've got at any given moment.
Yeah, hang on to it and work hard for it.
Yep.
You hard work will lessen your chances of not getting there, and hard work, if you don't get there, will still make you a better candidate. I'll give you one example. We'll make this one the one before we go. And Wasp, see you there, mate. Great to have you here. I'll say it to you this way. If you're an infantry soldier and you've done 6 years, you've been in Afghanistan, maybe Iraq, and then you train, you've done your subject course for section commander, and then you train because you want to go to SASR or commandos. What happens if you don't make it? Are you a bad soldier? No, you're one of the people who didn't make it. What are you going to do? I'm going to stay in the battalion. But what you've done is you've said to yourself, I had to go. You had to go. You fell short. Whether it was through your own fault, you weren't up to your own yardstick and you voluntarily pulled out, or you were told, hey, mate, you just didn't have it, but you had to go. Good on you. What happens when someone goes for a title fight and they lose? There's big decisions to be made, new decisions to be made, but decisions get made. Life has sliding doors and closing doors, opening doors all the time.
Yep, and change is inevitable. Things are going to change in your life. And change is hard for everybody, but it's got to happen. You can't grow if you don't change.
Yeah. And some of the best rewards come from unexpected sliding doors. Yep. If I hadn't done this YouTube channel, one, I wouldn't know almost any of you. I probably wouldn't have spoken to fantastic JP.
Yep.
I wouldn't have met Jody Stevens or Ed B and their family. I wouldn't be talking to Lauren right here now.
I wouldn't be socialising with anyone.
Yep. So, team, we just got to live with the cards we get, and and sometimes it feels like
Yeah, but play the hand you're dealt and play it as best you can, and don't waste your moves.
And if you can cheat to get ahead,
don't cheat. Don't cheat. He didn't mean that.
Okay, I don't cheat. If I play Monopoly and someone cheats, I'm just down. I'm out. I get out of the game. Guys and gals, let's call that a wrap, not a kebab, and get out of here. Tonight was about just bringing to the table the thought process that Armour might be seeing the main battle tank as too expensive to continue. And this has been carried on by multiple countries now, and the memo might actually come to Australia. Not sure if it will. But in saying that, thank you for being here. You could have been anywhere. Look after your family. Look after yourself.
Yeah.
Don't wait for fortune to come your way without working for it. You have to work for it.
Exactly.
Thank you for coming to the Forever Channel. Did you want to do the send-off there, Lauren? After I say thank you to the moderators, thank you to the members, thank you to everyone, and thank you mainly tonight to Jody Stevens.
Yeah, it's so great to see Jody here. You usually only see her in the comments, so it's actually really nice that she's here.
Do you know one thing about Jody? What? She was born in the USA.
Oh, I guess.
I don't know if Jody can see the Rangers Memorial rug we've got back there too from the 75th Rangers Regiment.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, guys and gals, that last bit of beauty that came out of my larynx, it would be the last thing I say.
Yep.
Now we'll leave it to Lauren, and we're going to diddy meow out of here. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you everyone for joining us, and thanks for spending so long with us. And it's always really great, and we always have a lot of fun, and I always like to catch up on where you're up to in your enlistment process or school or whatever's going on in your life. So we should be back on Wednesday, I believe, Kaz. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, so Monday, Wednesday and Friday for streams, unless we tell you otherwise, and maybe some extra videos in between. So please make sure you've given this video a thumbs up, because we really do appreciate it. And don't forget to subscribe, click the bell for notifications so that you will be able to try and be first on Wednesday and Friday. Okay, sleep well. Good night, everyone.
And good night, 14 platoon. We're still on. They're waiting for the encore.
Oh, the long goodbye.
The long goodbye, Jody.
I've never been here for a long goodbye before.
ABF, I didn't see any questions from you today.
Oh, no, I didn't either.
Look at JC.
That was moving fast.
Look at JC. We have been moving fast. It's wonder JC never put the speed gun on us.
Yeah.
Dave D's gone to sleep to some room service garlic bread.
Maybe you should get a club sandwich.
Yeah, and then get the toothpick through the roof of your mouth like Kaz did.
I'm never going to forget that story. I could feel that when you described it.
I felt like I had a Zulu spear thrown through my mouth.
Oh, come on. That's just slightly dramatic.
Jody, okay, it was dramatic. Jody, I hope you have a lovely day. And you US guys and gals, I do see you as my brothers and sisters. Through all these hard times, you got good times ahead. I can feel it. 2021, I wonder. Shit.
What have you done?
I just caught my tinea on a rug. No.
Oh, really?
No.
Oh, God.
Pepsi or Coke?
Hey, you love Pepsi now.
No.
I've seen a video. It's going viral.
JC, he's going for the piss on your feet too. I don't know what you Raffies do. Stand in circles and coat each other. Stop it, JC. Stop it.
Oh my gosh, the party's getting bed.
We've got YouTube lover here too. Good on you, mate. See you later, guys. See you later, girls.
Good night, everyone.